What's going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday morning. Kind of anxious to see how the stream goes. It's a Tuesday, so not expecting the same crowd as normal. Let's see here. Did get the news that Didi is ruled out, so waiting on starters for that. That was kind of surprising because they listed her as probable. So, I mean, wasn't playing very many minutes to begin with, so not a lot's going to change, but there will be a few changes. I mean, she starts. She's playing 9 to 15 minutes. So whoever starts, I would like the most. Would expect SWK to start. But, I mean, they could start Aaliyah Edwards. I wouldn't think they would, but who knows? It's Washington. Nothing would surprise me. I'm just expecting them to start SWK. But that game as a whole, I don't have a lot of interest in. It's really tough to want to play really anybody out of this first game. Like, if you look at everyone, Clea Copper, overpriced. Natasha Cloud, overpriced. BG, fairly priced. Ariel Atkins, probably the best price play in this game. DT is fine. I mean, they're not going to play her normal minutes. She's not going to see 32, 33 minutes. She's going to play like mid-20s. They're just going to keep her, just get her some run. And then like Dolson's overpriced. Hines Allen's overpriced. Sophie's way overpriced. SWK's fine now that she's starting. Still seems a bit overpriced in my opinion. Minutes shouldn't change for her. She should still play low 30s minutes. I'm not expecting it to tick up any more than that. And SWK is starting. So SWK moves into the starting lineup. Post that in the Discord. But then the rest of the game, Aaliyah Edwards overpriced for only playing 20 minutes. Rebecca Allen only playing mid-20s minutes. Pretty low fantasy point per minute wise. Van Loo is fine at her price point. I think with Didi out, it probably means her minutes are a little bit more secure. Would expect 28 to 30 for her. She's fine at 6,600. Then Ingsler, expecting 8 to 12 minutes for her. No interest in Herbert Harrigan. She's overpriced, barely playing. Max, overpriced, barely playing. You can take shots on Melbourne in tournaments, but at 5K, she's overpriced. Celeste Taylor, just not going to get enough run. Not a good fantasy point per minute player. So, and then Brown Turner, I don't expect them to play her. So it's really, really tough to recommend much out of this first game, but that's also a good tournament pivot. Azura Stevens is going to be extremely popular out of the second game. I don't think very much else in this second game is going to be popular, and I kind of like this game as a low-owned smash. But this Phoenix Washington game, 4.5 point spread over under 169. That's a big total. It just sucks that their players are overpriced. That's the only reason I don't have a lot of interest in it. And there is just so much news with New York. This game right here, there's a couple ways this slate's going to go. If you don't play anyone really out of these first two games, maybe play one or two players, and you're loading up on New York value, and all these New York questionable players are in, it really sucks. You get kind of the short end of the stick. But if people play a lot of players out of these first two games, and then all these New York players are ruled out, you're looking very good. So you just have to pick which side you want to live on. You either have to live or die. I mean, one way or another, it's going to work out for somebody and not for the other. So it is what it is. Misha Hines Allen or SWK for FanDuel single. I honestly have not looked at FanDuel. Just with the Queen of the Court on DraftKings, I didn't look. I can tell you right quick though. I didn't do any projections or anything for FanDuel. Let me look at my phone. It's probably just SWK. Like, what's her price? Oh, they're only doing the showdown on FanDuel. Let's look here. Single game. That contest is full. Well, let me look. Won't even let me look at anything. All right, here we go. Probably SWK. Just I expect her. She's going to play like low 30s minutes, whereas Misha Hanzalem probably sees like 22, 23, somewhere around there. So I lean SWK there. Yep. I think you can take shots on SWK. She's one of the better plays in that game. I'm not crazy about her, but I mean, it's a high total. Like, would not shock me if someone out of that game turns out to be optimal. Like, obviously the most optimal chance lies with BG and Atkins, but everyone knows that. So those are going to be the two most popular out of this game. I wouldn't expect them to be very popular anyway. But then like SWK, Van Loo, I have some interest in both of them in like larger field tournaments. That's really it though. I can't get behind that game. The prices are just wacky. Melbourne for value, it's rough. Like if you play Jade Melbourne, like this is my reasoning as why I wouldn't, is like if you play Jade Melbourne at 5K and she only plays, like let's say she plays 16 minutes and puts up 11 fantasy points. Like let's say she pulls this stat line she did against Minnesota from 10 days ago, puts up 11 points, doesn't quite 3x for you. Then later on in the day, we get all the New York news. Out. Stewie, Thornton, and Baby Sabali are all out. You're stuck with 11 fantasy points from Jade Melbourne when you could play Kennedy Burke for $200 more, who would play over 30 minutes. They would be extremely thin. They would have zero bigs besides John Quill. So Burke would have to play, and just on volume alone would get there. She shot terrible. She shot 1 of 6 from 3, 3 of 9, but got stocks, got peripheral stats. I mean, she's not a bad play, especially when there's so much usage to go around. Then, like, you have Tiffany Hayes, I would rather play over Melbourne. Around here, I would probably still play Whitcomb over her. And then, like, there's not really anyone down here. Like, Dochkic. I would take that back. Dochkic would look great if, like, 2 of the New York 3 are out. I'm expecting at least 2 to be out. But then you got, like, Bantam you can take shots on, but hate chasing after her, like, after that huge game. But I'm probably just out on Melbourne, just with, like, and hoping that New York, that the read is right. Like, New York has no reason to play those girls. Like, zero reason. It's the last game before the break. I would just be really surprised if any of them played. Edwards is not starting. Yeah. Let's get the queen unlocked. Let's do it. If I don't win it, I hope you do. Oh yeah. And we got 2 in the thoughts in there too. So I hope one of us wins it. Atkins in, SWK usage right, 3rd highest. Yep. I think obviously highest usage on Washington will be Atkins. She's been a lot more aggressive shooting the ball of late too. 14, 15, 17, and 25 shots. Usage continues to go up for her. Always say with her, if the first couple shots go in, she can really pop. That's what she needs. She needs to see the first couple go in, and she gets all the confidence in the world. Peripheral stats haven't been great. Like, she can really, like, falter there, and that's my biggest worry with her, is if she only puts up like sub 20 real life points, she's probably not getting like higher than 30, but big ceiling with her. So don't mind going there at all. Do you like Carter and Mabry? I do. Mostly because the aces just play so fast. I love Carter. I don't think she's going to be very high owned today. It's just really hard to get to her at her price, especially assuming like all the New York girls are out. Like it's just really hard to get to her. And then Mabry's been playing a lot better of late. Like if we look at Mabry, minutes have been a lot better. She's not had like great fantasy games, but like these two games here, she shot 3 of 11, she shot 5 of 9, but she's getting the peripheral stats. They're starting to climb back up, 24 and 27, but she had 30 before that, then just 48 here. I'm not expecting 12 rebounds again. Like that's an outlier. Playing like big minutes, 31, 32, 36, 38. The worry with Chicago is Teaspoon can go wacky and just randomly bench people. We don't have to look back very far with Marina Mabry to see this. Here's a 19-minute game. Like, just randomly, she'll, like, if one of them's struggling, she'll just pull them. And on a slate where you're playing, like, in a super small field, you're guaranteed money, so that's nice. But you want to win, and it's just really, really tough. And like Carter last game, she just got full on benched. Like they can say she was hurt. She come back in the game. She was benched. So it's risky, but I do like both of them in that matchup for sure. I definitely don't mind that. I think if you're playing anyone in the first game, it's probably like a little mini stack of like BG Atkins or just Atkins or just like Van Loo or SWK. I would not go crazy in this first game. Now, if you're making like 20 lineups or 150 lineups, you probably want a little bit of exposure. You can go overweight to the field on a couple of those players, but it's tough because there's so much still up in the air. This is why I really did not want this game on the slate because it's just so spread out. 10:30 game, then this game will be over and we'll have to wait 2 hours before the next game starts. Then that game will start. We still won't have New York news, and it'll probably be over by the time we get New York news. So it's just super spread out. Game, wait, game, wait, game, wait, game. I'm not a fan of the slate setup. Normal starters for Phoenix. So that's normal. Let's see here. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Yes, sir. Let's make some money. I hope me or PhD take it down. You guys got more ammo in your gun. I just got a bullet. You guys have multiple. I mentioned to PhD last night that if I had multiple entries, I'd probably have some shares of this first game just because, I mean, that total 168.5, it's right there with Chicago and Vegas, and that game could blow out. Like, it's 13-point spread. It keeps moving. It's very sneaky. Like, I'm not playing it. I'm playing my lineup in the Queen of the Court, and I'm playing that same build in the main contest because I know if I made a second lineup, it would nuke, and I would just be insta-tilted because I didn't play it in the Queen of the Court. Thank you. I appreciate that. 34 years old as dirt. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. She's a fantastic coach, one of my favorite in the league. Just the way she cares for her players and everything. But God, the woman hates DFS players. I don't know. I don't know what's up with some of the rotations that she's been doing. It's baffling. Any interest in SWK? I do. I'm not crazy about her. At her price point, I don't think there's a lot of a ceiling because the peripheral stats are just really hit or miss, like 3, 3, 6, 4, 6, 6. Then she had this one where she got 12. Then she 6, 6, 5, 5, 3, 1, 5. Like they're really hit or miss. I would expect her to get like 3 or 4 peripheral stats. She can get you some stocks, but her upside lies in her scoring. Now, if she puts up 20 real life points, like she goes out here and shoots like she did against the Aces, 7 of 13, she can have a pretty good game. But at 7,400, you're trying to 3.5x that. So, I mean, you need probably 25 out of her. She's probably fairly safe to get that. But what's her true ceiling? Like, can she 4.5x that? I don't think so. And at that price, I just think there's better plays cheaper than her. I know. I wish I had a handicap sticker. I am old. I feel this morning. When I woke up, I swore I aged like 20 years overnight. I was struggling. Let's see here. But yeah, I mean, these late 2 games are where the money will be won or lost. Like if you're looking at New York, personally, I'm not projecting Stewie to play. They have 0 reason to play her. She missed last game due to a hamstring, and now she's questionable for rest. She just rested. I would imagine it's still her hamstring, and this is just like kind of a misquote or something. But they have 0 reason to play her. Now, like I mentioned in the Discord, I was going to deep dive this game. There's a lot of stuff. Like, let's say Thornton and Sably are out, but Stewie's in. Then, obviously, it's a hit to the immense upside of like a John Quell and a Sabrina. But really, that's their offense. Like, it's just going to be those 3. Like, Fibich is going to take on less usage on the offensive end. Then, like, Sloot probably won't barely play anyway. I mean, they've almost X'd her out. She's a liability on defense. She's not a good offensive player, hasn't been in years. And they're just playing like Doncic over. Like, Doncic played 18 minutes last game, and Sloot, I think, she played 15. Yeah. So, but then, like, if Stewie's out, like, let's say Stewie and Sably are out, and Thornton toughs it out. It's a neck injury, though, so, like, I'm sure she just got, like some tightness or something. Wouldn't expect her to play, like, big minutes, like, maybe 20. Like, what'd she play last game? She played 25, shot terribly, 2.5 fantasy points. Would expect her to play around 20 minutes. But then, like, if Stewie's out, like, John Quell and Sabrina look really good. I would prefer John Quell to Sabrina because Sabrina's going to get like the Dijonay defense. But I mean, they would look good. Then like even Connecticut starts to look good. Like they already look okay. Like Bonner, no Benajelani defense. Bree Jones has been playing better of late. Dijonay and Harris, like they're going to get Sloot and Sabrina's defense. And then AT, like no one is talking about Alyssa Thomas at 10.3K. Like 10.3K. She was 12K earlier this year. Now, granted, I understand she's not taking very many shots, but the upside is still there. Like, yeah, her floor is lower, but man, the upside's there. Yeah, Stevens is my favorite play on the slate. Like it doesn't matter who's in or out for New York. Even with Asia, like point per dollar wise, Azura Stevens is the best play on the slate. She should not be $8,500. If in a fantastic matchup, like she's playing just massive minutes, 26, 28, and then a jump to 38 with Talbot back, and now Talbot's out again. I'm expecting 35, 36 minutes for her with the potential to maybe play the whole game because they're really thin on bigs. Technically, they only have Rakia Jackson, Azura Stevens, and Wnba as the bigs. And Rakia Jackson's not even like, she's a small ball 4. Like maybe, I don't think she can play the 5. So one of Wnba and Stevens is always going to have to be out there because we have to remember, like, they don't even have her in the pool. Uru is overseas. She's gone. She's playing in the Olympics. So they're thin on bigs. Apart from Stevens, I think you can take shots on Wnba. Don't love her price, but she's playing huge minutes. I think you can take shots on Rakia Jackson. Once again, don't love her price, but she should have to play low 30s minutes. The upside's there in a player like her. If the scoring's there, she can post a big game. And then really everyone else down here is pretty gross. I'm not playing really anyone down here. I just can't. Let's see here. Let's see. I'm trying to get cute on a lineup without Asia. You can. I mean, if you're making one lineup, I don't know how you fade Asia. That's just me. I think you can get to her, but the balance build looks pretty good. Like you can build a great balance lineup today. It's just really hard to not like start a lineup and just click Asia Wilson because when she walks on the court, she's getting 50, and at 50 she's gonna 4x even at 13,300, and not many players on this slate will 4x her salary. So even though she's crazy expensive, like it's pretty safe to say that she's probably going to 4x it. Good morning. Early stream. I kind of like this though. It's been nice just kind of chilling this morning. You can, like, I think that's my personal optimal way to build is maybe just play like Stevens out of the second game, but like you could play like Atkins, Stevens, and then load up these late 2 games. Like that's perfectly fine as well. But I do think like the late 2 games are going to garner a lot more ownership. 100 lineup, 65. I would probably even go a little higher than that. I think the only way that she fails is like massive foul trouble. And they were playing her last game with foul trouble. Like she played the whole game. She picked up 2 fouls in like the first 6 minutes and didn't come out. So the only way she fails is obviously with an injury. Like you can't ever project that. And then like just insane foul trouble. And I just don't see that happening. Like they have to play her against Nneka and Ezi. Like she's going to have to be on the floor. So I think probably like 85. She's the best play on the slate, in my personal opinion. Like point per dollar wise, even and like I even reined her price or her fantasy point number in. Like it wanted to put her at like 41.5 fantasy points, and I reined it back a little bit, and she's still number 1 point per dollar. She's over a 4.5x. In my projections, I like Nneka. I don't have her in currently, but she's smashed against LA earlier this year. 41.5 fantasy points, shot 11 of 15 in 29 minutes. So she smashed them, and now she's going back to where she played all those years, back to LA. So I kind of dig her. I think at least 2 of the 3 from New York will be out. My personal lean right now that I have set in my rankings, actually, let me see. It just kicked me out of it. I have Stewie out and Baby Sably out. But it would not shock me if all 3 sit. I would be absolutely speechless if all 3 play. Like truly shocked. It's just not something that Sandy does. Like when she's not going to play players that aren't 100%, and she knows that the break is right here. So I would be floored if all of them play. Ezzy or Bree, Ezzy if you have the salary. Like, yeah, Ezzy looks, Ezzy's in a great matchup. Like, I like Bree, but Ezzy's floor is a lot safer, and her ceiling is higher. Who do you think Horseman's going to guard on LAS? Probably, let's see. So you got SDS on Airy. You've got Joel on Nurse. So Horston will guard Rakia. That'll be fun. A little Tennessee on Tennessee crime. That'll be a fun matchup. Both of them are big physical players. That'll be fun. I didn't even think about that till just now. Yeah, that'll be fun. Plummer Stevens. Yeah, I'm very bullish on Stevens today. Wow. Yeah, I mean it's worth it there. she's the number one play. I did not do anything on Underdog. I fully deep dived, went down a intense rabbit hole on Draftkings. Like I dug everything, did like my most homework all season. I was up to like 1:30 this morning, working on this slate for the Queen of the Court contest. And just to lose it all because New York players are going to play. I'm fully ready for it. But, let's see here. Harrison, Jackie, or Cardosa, Airy. Probably like Harrison, Jackie. I don't trust Izzy's minutes. Like they're up and down. And I would expect her to play like 12 to 15, like confidently. But Jackie's by far the best play out of that group, and like the matchup's good. I love the spot for her. And like on the flip side, like Cardosa, her minutes have been really up and down. Like never know with her. This is a good matchup for her though. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Another year older. Let's see here. I had my lineup pretty well locked in last night. Now, obviously, everything changes if New York starter or New York players are in, but it is what it is. Let's see here. I think Atkins is going to come in a little bit with a little bit of juice, just because she's had two really good games back to back, and her price dipped a little bit, and it's a good matchup. I'm saying probably like 25%. Now, Queen of the Court, I don't know, like maybe 25%, somewhere right around there. It's a scary fade. I've been sitting here debating like playing her, but I don't think I can. I don't think I can bring myself to do it. I want to. I'm $100 shy. Oh man, yep. It is what it is. Like if she pops, like I'm good with that. I made up my mind last night that that I'm going out the way I want to go out. I'm making my call. So I do like Atkins a lot. I just can't get her in my lineup, the lineup that I want to play. Let me make sure everything's set though. All right. Should be good. Thank you. I will be live. I'm gonna go live before the showdown slate tomorrow night. I know the actual slate start is at noon Central Standard Time for the game then, but there's like a huge showdown prize pool for the game tomorrow night. So I'll do a live stream before that since it's the last one for almost a month. But I appreciate the happy birthday, and I'm gonna try and enjoy it. I'm gonna figure out some stuff to do for some content. I'll have some stuff. I don't know if it'll be UFC with a couple guys I know. May do like some underdog college football drafts. I may do like college football like gameplay content on YouTube. There's a lot of stuff to do. I definitely want to see the ownership in the Queen of the Court on this first game. I'm very, very interested to see that. Let's see here. Favorite play outside Stevens in the Seattle game? It's probably just like Nneka and Ezzy. Like really any Nneka, Ezzy, Lloyd all look really good. You can even group SDS in there, but kind of worried she might be a little bit limited, maybe only play like high 20s minutes rather than like low 30s. Like Rakia looks good. Horston looks good. There's a lot to like in this game. And Seattle's, the Sparks are pretty scrappy at home. But there's a lot to like. If I had to pick one, it's probably just Ezzy. Her ceiling is pretty high. It is time. Yeah. SDS is not on the injury report. She will play. Unless they get wacky tobacco. And in that case, if you didn't play very many in this first game, you can play Sammy Whitcomb. Let's see here. Ownership. I did not play anybody in this first game in the Queen of the Court. Ariel Atkins is 30% in the Queen of the Court contest. Shit. I don't like that. I need her to struggle. I'm not going to say that. I love Ariel Atkins. I love the way she plays. If she has a good game, so be it. I'll figure out a way. Van Loo 16% in the Queen of the Court. BG 8%. Oh my. That is great ownership there. DT 2%. Let's see here. There is a lot of people that just did not play anyone out of this game, which I think it's optimal for the most part to just fade this game. SWK is 10%. Let's see. Only one player had a max of 5. It was D-Baggett, which I'm not surprised. He's a shark. He enters all the stuff. And they're the best way, like if you guys want to get in the Queen of the Court next year, is try and win those satellites for the 164. It's like a super thin contest, like 14 people, and they give out 2 tickets. Or if you just have the bankroll, you can just constantly loop them. Obviously, the $20 one that's 100 people that you can 3 max is the most fun because you can put 3 lineups in, but it's the hardest one to win. That's the one that I won somehow. And then the $98 is only 15 people, but only 1 winner. But don't think there's going to be a lot of ownership. I was looking to see if anyone played like Cloud or Copper. Have not seen anybody. It looks like a lot of people did the same exact thing that I did. So, Aaliyah Edwards, 4%. Jade Melbourne, 8%. So it's pretty spread out. I don't think Kalia Copper or Natasha Cloud are owned at all in the Queen of the Court. So I'm not surprised. Like they were overpriced. I don't know if I'll do another live stream before this Connecticut Liberty game. We'll see. I mean, I ain't got nothing else to do. I'm just gonna sit around and play college football and watch these games. But I might. We'll see if there's enough people that want something. I don't know how I would swing it. Like getting an overlay like this where I can look at everybody, but we'll see. You never know. Yep. See the 164, like if you have the bankroll, like I would have entered that 164 all the time. But for me, I just wanted one ticket. Like I just wanted one seat. And then once I found out they weren't paying out in advance, I didn't enter another one. Like I should have had two seats. One of them, I won the 20, and then it was a $98, and I lost by 0.25 points. And whatever. Like, I think that was the last time I entered any of them. It was just, had I not won, I would have kept trying. But once I won, and then as soon as they said they weren't paying out in advance for it, I was like, all right, cool, I'm in. I don't have to have any more. And then I was looking like the last 10 seats that were filled, my lineup would have won like 6 or 7, which I have been running pretty hot. But when I run cold, I run cold. But I've been running pretty hot here lately, and I could have maxed. Like if I would have entered the contest, I would have had 5 seats. But coulda, woulda, shoulda. I mean, I only have 1 seat, so we're gonna try and win it with the 1. But it sure does look like everyone is waiting on the late games. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I may hop back on for a quick live stream. May try and get Zoe or somebody to hop on with me. Just talk some ball for a little bit. But if I do, we'll see you here in a little while. If not, I'll have the YouTube video out late tonight. I'm probably not going to post it until after the late game is over. Just so I kind of know, because I'll definitely want to be watching those late games to kind of see where I finish up, because I'm going to have a lot of exposure there. So, but I will have it out later on tonight, and then we'll do a live stream for the Showdown slate tomorrow night. But good luck to everybody, and we'll see you for the next one.